What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to set up VirtualBox in Windows 10. Let's get right into it. So first things first, this is going to be part 1 of my 5-part video series surrounding VirtualBox. Now in this series we are going to be setting up Windows 7. Now everything in this tutorial will work for you in almost any Windows version. The only thing that definitely 100% will not work for you if you were not using Windows 7 is going to be activating Windows 7 right there at the end. But that's just going to be the last video in my 5-part series. So first things first, we're going to be setting up VirtualBox. So I'm going to already assume that if you're watching this video, you already at least have VirtualBox downloaded. So we're going to go ahead and open up VirtualBox right here. Now I already have 2 machines installed already. We're going to go ahead and ignore that for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to this blue button and press new. We're going to go ahead and give it a name. So this is going to be my tutorial machine. Our type is going to be Microsoft Windows 64-bit. I'm going to go ahead and change this drive to my virtual machine drive right here. Select the folder. All right, and press next. So we're going to allocate some space to it. Now I tend to go for either 3.5 gigs or just 3 gigs. It's in megabytes, so you put the however many gigs you want first and then followed by 3 zeros, right? And we can go ahead and push next. So this is not super important, but we're going to want to create a virtual hard disk. If you already have one, then you can use one, but again, I'm assuming you haven't done this before. So create a virtual hard disk now. I'm going to create this VDI VirtualBox disk image, press next. We want it to be probably dynamically allocated. If you want to get better performance, we can do fixed size, but it can cause problems later on. So we're going to go ahead and choose dynamically allocated. Now, and for my tutorial with the activation method at the end, I would give it no less than 100 gigs. If you pick 32 to 45, you might run out of space to activate. Activating it does take a little bit of space. So, you know, I would pick 100 gigs. You're not going to lose too much of this space. It does open up a bunch whenever you activate. So we're going to go ahead and pick 100 gigs. You could probably get away with anywhere between 45 and 50 for this tutorial. If you're not planning on activating or you already have an activation key, then you might be able to get away with a 35. So we're going to go ahead and create. So here we go. We have our tutorial machine right here. Now before we can power it on, we need to go up here to the settings. And then we want to go to where it says storage, and under the controller SATA cable, we're going to go ahead and push this plus button right here, and we are going to want to expand this and pick our Windows 7. So I'm using Windows 7 Ultimate Edition, 64-bit right there, and press choose. It must be an ISO file. Now I'm not going to go over how to get the ISO file. That's super easy. If you have a copy of Windows 7, you probably have the ISO file. You can also do this with Windows 10. You just download it. It already downloads as an ISO file, and I might link to that in the description, but I'm not going to go over that right now. And press choose. And then next is kind of important depending on how your computer is going to take it, but you want to click on this empty file, right click and press remove attachment. Now some machines will work if you leave that, but some will not, so it's safer just to take that away, and then press OK. So now we should be good to go for now, and we're going to go ahead and double click on our tutorial machine. It could take a couple seconds the first time it powers up. Let's see if I can drag this over. So I got this pop up first. It wants us to select the startup disk, which we already did that, so it knows about it. So we're gonna go ahead and press the Windows 7 again if it makes us, and press start. And then this will pop up just like this, and it keeps moving around on me. All right, so this is our virtual machine for Windows. So it's gonna take us through all the normal Windows processes. So we're going to select all this. I'll leave that as default and then press install now. It's going to start the setup. I believe it's going to make us allocate a drive. Now it cannot see your normal drive. It can only see that 100 gigs or so that we gave it. So accept the license, press next. We're going to do a custom install. This is our disk 0 unallocated space. You can see my 100 gigs right here. Press next. And then it's going to start to install. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. And whenever it is done, I'll be back with you. It shouldn't take too long on the virtual machines. Okay, so it just finished loading, and as you can see, it is starting Windows up. And it is, the setup is starting the services. I believe it's about to let us choose a username here. Oh, no, it's just completing the installation. I thought it was done. Okay, so I think that it might be done now. Let's see what it does. Okay, awesome. So now we get to type a username here. I'm gonna go ahead and just set myself as general. All right, and we're gonna press next. We're gonna go ahead and type in a password here. Let's see what I can do. It does advise that you type a password. I don't think it's super important since it's a virtual machine. In order for anybody to get in here, they would have to actually unlock your regular computer and then get in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and type a space for that. We're gonna go ahead and skip the product key, and I like to uncheck this. That's not important, I don't think though, but we're gonna go ahead and uncheck that and then press skip. We're going to ask later, and then we get to pick our time. Let's see, I am on Central, I believe. Where does it say Central? Like it's right in front of my face, but I can't see it. Oh, there it is. All right, Central. It's 8:30. That looks good. Press next. Now I like to tell it that we're on a public network, just so Windows is a little bit more careful, because I mean, I don't know what you're going to be doing inside of your virtual box, but if you want to be safer, go ahead and do public network all the time. And if you're wondering why they have this little black box on my mouse, that's mainly because I'm using my second monitor and it doesn't appreciate that as much. So if you're using it on your main monitor, you shouldn't see that, but I haven't found any problems that this happens. It actually appears smaller on my screen than the recording device, so it isn't quite as obtrusive. But I do believe that it is only because I'm on the second screen. And there we go, now we're on. So if you're wondering why my mouse lags behind, the black box is actually where my real mouse is, so that is nice and fluid, but the mouse on the virtual machine lags behind, and that is what we're going to work on fixing next. Just so you can see, this is opened up. This is the virtual machine here, so we're going to go ahead and open up. Not what I want to click on properties. So this is the virtual machine. It's kind of hard to tell that you're in a virtual machine unless you start looking at drives and stuff, but we are also not activated because I didn't put in that code. Go ahead and click on the X button. So now what we want to do is install VirtualBox Guest Editions, and that's going to be the second part to this first part video. So we can go ahead and close this machine for now. So you can press shut down just like normal. Then the machine goes away, and we're going to open up a web browser. So inside this web browser, this link will be in the description, but it is the VirtualBox index. So inside the index, we want to find your version. I'm on the latest version, 1.1 or 6.1.12. In order to check what your version is, open up the VirtualBox Manager, go to Help, About VirtualBox, and I'm on 6.1, and then under here it says 6.1.12, and close that. And then go into Firefox, click on 6.1.12. We want VirtualBox Guest Editions 6.1.12 ISO right here. Go ahead and download that. Now it isn't super big, so I'm gonna go ahead and download it with y'all. So I got 2 minutes 56 seconds left. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video while that downloads. Okay, and I do believe it is almost done. There we go. So now we have Vbox Guest Edition 6.1.12.iso. We can leave it in the download folder, but so yeah, I'm actually just gonna leave mine in the download folder. So we can go ahead and open up VirtualBox Manager again. And what we're gonna want to do is start up our machine one more time. Gonna go through the whole process. And the reason that I had you close it before is just so we can see it start up one more time, make sure everything's working correctly, because sometimes it'll boot up, it'll install, and the second time you run it, it isn't gonna actually start up right. So we don't want to install VirtualBox guest editions unless we know that our virtual machine is working properly. So it shouldn't take too long to start up as long as you gave it enough RAM. All right, here we go. Go ahead and type in my password here. And then next, what we're going to want to do is go up here outside of the virtual machine, click on devices, go to optical drives, and then we're going to want to choose a disk file, I believe. Actually, no, we're going to choose /create a disk image. We're going to press the add button. We're going to go over to our downloads, click on Vbox Guest Editions, select open, and then make sure that we have Vbox Guest Editions chosen. So select it, press choose, and it is going to load into your VirtualBox like as if it is a CD drive. So we're going to go ahead and down here and go to our File Explorer. If we did it right, it should show up under Computer. And here it is, VirtualBox Guest Editions. Double click to open up. And then we're going to click on the Vbox Windows Editions, that first one right there. If that one doesn't work, you can try any of the other two, but the first one should do just fine. Double click, press yes on the prompt. And then click on the setup down in the bar down here and go next, next. This is all good. Press install. You're going to have to accept 2 more things during this install, so press install, and then it should give us 1 more. Don't worry if this takes a second, it is working. Press install again. And after this is done, we are going to need to restart our virtual machine one last time in order to get this working properly. And after we do that, I'm going to show you how to set up a shared drive so you can bring things back and forth from your main computer. So we're going to go ahead and reboot. And while it is doing that, we can go back up here to devices, and then we can click on shared folders and shared folder settings. In the shared folder settings, we're going to want to click on machine folders. I don't think it matters too much at the moment which one you click on, but we're going to click on machine folders, and then this blue folder button right here. Go ahead and click on that. And then we're going to want a path to our folder. Now I'm just going to pick my 2 terabyte external hard drive right here. Press select folder. I don't want this to be permanent. If you want it to always be there, then you can choose to make it permanent. We don't want it to be read-only, and you can choose auto mount if you want it to automatically mount every time. Also, I'm not going to do that. I just rather make the folder every single time that I need it, and then press OK. We have full access. I know that was probably loud. We have full access, so that's good. And then we press OK. Type in my password again. There's a couple of steps that we're going to need to go through in order to access that shared folder. So as you can see, the orientation got thrown off a bit. So we're going to close the window down a little bit and then open it back up. If we want to go into full screen mode, we can go to view and then full screen mode. You can read over this to learn how to get in and out of it, and then press switch. So this black bar right here goes away after a second. We can go ahead and open up our Windows icon. And what we're going to want to search for is network. Let's see if I can spell it right. Network and Sharing Center. We're going to go to Change Advanced Sharing Settings. And then we're going to turn on, let's see here, turn on sharing, file and printer sharing. That's what I'm going to turn on. Turn on file and printer sharing. Press Save Changes. Go ahead and close out of this. Hopefully I did that right. We can open up our File Explorer, go down to Network. It'll load. All right, so it still thinks that we're not right. All right, so if you get this message, you're gonna click on that, press turn on. If you're on Windows 10, it's gonna look a little bit different. Click on yes. And now it loads up as general PC, so we can double click. Oh, actually, you don't want that one. You want the Vbox SVR. Then you click on this drive, and then here is my shared drive that we had. And just to show that it is the same thing, we can go to downloads. And it's not showing our Vbox. I wonder, oh, it's not in order since we downloaded it. So our Vbox that we downloaded, where is it? Come on, don't make me a liar. Oh, here it is. So right here, we have our two Vbox guest editions. This is the one I downloaded previously, and this is the one I downloaded with you guys. So just like that, we have our shared folder. If you want to get rid of it, you can go down here into Devices, Shared Folders, Shared Folder Settings, click on it, and then press this X button. And it won't go away until you restart it entirely, but it won't load anymore. So it will hang out in the network until you restart your machine. And that is going to do it for this first video. We're right at like 16, 17 minutes. So yeah, in the next video, I'm gonna be going over how to change your drives in order to not make it look like you're in a virtual machine. So that is coming up in the next video. So I'll see you guys in the next one.